Draco, Draco, Draco! We've got all three sizes of Dracos in for a magazine article I'm doing. The perk that you all get is I'm also going to review these for the channel. The Classic, the Mini, and the Micro. All three different lengths. We're going to go through them one by one. Today's video is going to cover the Classic. That's what's coming up next on GBGuns. As you may have noticed, we've been on a bit of a kick with the AK pistols lately. All started with picking up PSA and then having a bad experience, unfortunately, with a Zastava. So we're going back to the Classic here. The Dracos are Romanian, built in Cugir, as it says right there. And yes, that is how it's pronounced by Romanians. I asked locals there in the city of Cugir, and that's the answer I got. So, unfortunately, we were not able to visit the factory. The Cugir factory is still making not just AKs for the Romanian military, but also other firearms and weapons for Romanian use and Allied use. So, being able to get a real one from the military factory is pretty cool, especially a pistol, because pistols aren't restricted like rifles are, which means that Century Arms is able to bring these in 100% Romanian. So this doesn't have any US parts. There's no 922R compliance issues. So this gets to stay as it left the factory. So let's get to it. We'll take a look at this thing from the outside, and then we'll get into the Classic. Wasser has been a mainstay AK for a long time. I bought a used one years ago, thrashed it and shot the bejeebers out of it, and it's still running strong. It's currently in the middle of another transformation, so I don't have it available to show you at the moment, but you'll get to see it someday. So starting on the end, we have this Muzzle Nut, which is nice that it has flats on it, and you can see it's got multiple detent spots. It is removable. You just got to be able to push that back and turn at the same time, which I can't do on camera at the moment. We can see that our gas block and sight post are integrated into one piece, helping keep everything short and clean. Got a nice window to let some daylight on that front sight post there, and to give you access in there to be able to adjust it. Wooden handguard appears to be standard AK length. For all the specs and numbers and stuff, you guys can go check out the website. I don't bore you with stuff like that well, really doesn't need video. Looking at our construction along the side, we can see we've got a 2019 construction build date. Looking at our rivets, that one's flattened a little bit. I don't see any crazy angles. Rivets all look pretty good, as I'd expect from a Cugir gun. It's got a plastic pistol grip, just the basic. That probably helps keep costs down, since a lot of folks change these out. I am a little concerned with, on all three of these Dracos, what the squared off back edge is going to feel like on my hand while shooting. I'll have to get a brace or something to figure out there, but I want to show you the guns as they come. And we do have a ribbed top cover here. Our safety might overshoot a little bit, but there's a little divot in the receiver at the top of that shine there that helps keep it from getting too stuck. We can see clear. Next, we'll field strip this thing and take a look inside. Also want to mention before we get there, you can see that the sights are maybe optimistic at graduating up to 500 meters, but at least it doesn't show the full 1,000 on there or longer. It is adjustable. It's a leaf rear sight, pretty standard. Getting into an AK, after showing clear, of course, we want your safety lever down. You're going to push in on this button while lifting on the top cover. Top cover comes off. It's just a stamped steel. Then we go forward with our recoil assembly to get it out of its track, pull it out, and we can bring the bolt and carrier out by bringing it all over to the rear, and then there's a little, come on, it's catching on part of this other spot. Let's go going on here? Of course, this only happens when you're trying to do it while looking through a camera. Not sure why it's not wanting to come out here. So what I've had to do is bring it all the way to the rear and at an angle, twist it up and out. The end of the bolt comes out through these slots here. That one was maybe a little tight. Looking inside, we do have the paperclip style of retaining the pins, but I do notice that these pins have a lot less movement than the Zastava pins did. Let me get to the other one. It's not moving at all. So we shouldn't have any walking issues there. Give you a look at the trunnion and inside there. Nice clean construction. The rails inside, can't feel it with my finger, but it does look a little coarse. Let me get the camera to focus for you. You can see these edges here. Looks a little coarse. I'm sure that'll polish out with time. I didn't feel it in working the action. Get our bolt out of its carrier. Take a look at the carrier, and of course the mushrooms on the back after firing are what a lot of people are concerned about. A little bit will happen with time. You might notice also that the carrier, the bolt, and the receiver are all matching. Even the top cover, since fitting top covers can be a bit of a craft. I say that because building an AK is more of a craft thing than a manufacturing thing. There's a lot of parts and pieces that have to be fitted, done just right, in contrast to an AR where you've got, well, basically parts that just get assembled and go together. Nice and flush. I can't even see. There's where the pin went in for the piston. Piston has a little bit of play, but not much at all. Very tight. And we can see our classic bolt face there. So, since these are made from stampings and kind of crafted more than assembled, as I just finished saying, one of the big questions that's out there with AKs is about magazine fitment. And when we get to the range with this guy, we will run a variety of magazines through it. I missed the rail there. Yeah, that's weird. That rear spot may be a little short. Doesn't affect function, just makes it less smooth. And as far as everything's pretty solid. Works nice and smooth. The spring does appear to be the exact same spring that you'd have on a regular AK, which is interesting to me because with the shorter barrel, we're going to have less gas pressure to operate the gun. Our trigger comes back a little bit. Safety's not all the way off. There we go. Then we've got our actual pull and brake. Reset is tactile and audible, and takes pretty much the brake. I'll learn this trigger and get quicker with it, obviously while we're out there. But wanted to show this off and get you familiar with the Dracos if you weren't already. The Romanian Wassers are lighter weight than the Zastavas, and yet still an Eastern European, true Eastern European build. In fact, funny story about that true Eastern European. When we were driving from Belgrade, Serbia, out to Cucina, Romania, we weren't tracking that we had lost an hour of time, and we showed up to our reservation a little later than expected, and that's because, should have known better and looked this up, of course, Romania is Eastern European time, and Serbia is Central European time. So if you want Eastern European to really follow that, Romanian's way to go. We can see we also have S and F stamped on the receiver there, just so faintly for safe and fire. But that's just a quick and dirty tabletop look at the build quality and construction and finish and fit on this particular Draco from Century Arms. We'll get it out to the range, run a bunch of different rounds through it, see what we can do accuracy wise using just the irons. You don't have the scope rail on the side here, which makes for a smoother, flusher, and lighter gun. Also means that if you do want to mount an optic, you're going to have to go with one of the various options out there. The good news is this Draco size has been around for a long time, so there are plenty of options. Let me know what your thoughts are and if you shot a Draco, and we'll see you on the range.